Howdy, Kevin Davis here. Wanted to do a video about syncing devices, especially if you have Linux and MacBook. And maybe some of you haven't chosen Linux because you're afraid that you won't get everything you need. Well, depending on what you do, that might be the case. In fact, that's probably why I still have a MacBook as well as my Linux device is. I have another one. But I want to let you know that since I've gone to Linux, I have found a way to sync a few of my apps, and I'm loving the workflow I have. And I could actually probably get by just using Linux. So, jump in with me. So here we are, my MacBook Pro 2017. Let me just show you what syncs. That syncs Firefox. I have email apps on my other devices. This syncs OpenOffice. This syncs Signal on all my devices. I have a Facebook Messenger on all my devices. So that syncs. I do have e-readers on my other devices. This is the only app that I really need my MacBook for. It does work on my Android phone, and I can use it as well as Standard Notes. Standard Notes is the app you see down here on the left, app launcher there, the very bottom right above QuickTime, you see the Standard Notes app. That's also on all my devices. So now would be a great time to show you my phone. Here's my Standard Notes app. It's not going to show you the notes because the Standard Notes app is smart and doesn't let anybody record it. Anyways, but here's my texting, here's my Signal, my Facebook. Again, these are on all my computers, so it's pretty good for syncing. Here's Firefox. It syncs as well, obviously. This calendar, I even have it synced on one of my computers. It's the To-Do app, which is called AO, I believe, from the Snap Store. But this is the olive tree app I was just looking at, and what I would do is, for making sermon notes, if I had to do it on my phone, I just copy what I want to copy for some study notes, and then go to my, so I'll just go to Google Notes here just so you can kind of see it, and I can just obviously access Google Notes through a browser, paste in here, and then ta-da, I can work on it from a Linux device and have the notes I want. So, don't know what that note was about, but anyways. But this is the only app that I really like using, but other than that, everything syncs. I had to get this OpenOffice. Some of you might be wondering why I didn't get LibreOffice. Well, I had LibreOffice, but for whatever reason my MacBook hated it. It kept on kicking me out, saying that there were problems, even though I would upgrade to the newest LibreOffice. So I just found OpenOffice to be a little bit more stable. And see, here's my Dropbox. My Dropbox app syncs across all devices. And so I'm working on a sermon. My other device, Linux, is in my church office, a desktop computer. So OpenOffice works great. It's a perfectly fine word processor. Everything prints out all right. Never really have any problems with it. I just kind of like it too. It feels a bit more simpler and classic than the LibreOffice. And I know I can make LibreOffice as simple as I want it as well. But as I said, my MacBook did not like LibreOffice. So, yeah. But, even to make do, I do usually do my sermon study on here with that Bible study app. And as you can see, the study notes, I save it as a Apache OpenOffice Writer document, and then after I've done my study on my MacBook, I could go use it on my other devices if I want to. So yeah, I have all my communication apps synced, which I really like. It's synced with my Android tablet, my Android phone, my Linux computer, my MacBook. So wherever I'm at, whatever I'm using, Linux, Mac, Android, I can chat with all my buddies. And then if you have Android, use Google Messages. You can use the web app. Even if I put Chrome on here, it could save it as a separate app if you really like that feeling of a separate app on your computer. But yeah, I use this all the time. Android Messages app, Signal, Facebook Messenger. So, And then since I don't have an Apple phone, I really don't use cloud or Apple. I'm going to use Amazon Photos. Amazon Photos, if you have a Prime account, saves pictures and videos in their best um, uh, resolution. Yeah, I think you have a limit on the videos, but so you can even find the pictures and stuff I want on here. And I'm fine with them not loading them up. You don't need to see them all anyways, but now you get a picture. And here we are on my Debian Mate. There's Firefox. There's Thunderbird for email. So that's what I use for my email app. As you can, and then there's standard notes again. I'll show you standard notes a little later as I go on my last device. But yeah, Firefox standard notes. There's the Facebook Messenger. Basically, it's called Caprine. You can get it in the Snap Store, Signal. Got that from Flathub. Foliate, which is my e-reader. This is OpenOffice Writer, OpenOffice Draw, Audacity. I record my sermons with that, calculator, and then my files. But yeah, so here's my email. And as with any email client, it just syncs all your emails, all your accounts. There's Signal. And oh, I did just make this laptop. I put Debian Mate on here last week, so my credentials aren't in here yet. I haven't used, I guess, either that or Caprine Facebook Messenger. But yeah, so you can kind of see it's all synced. And why don't we go ahead and put the same wallpaper in here as what I have over on my other device. My Firefox is already synced into my account. So why don't we just look at the history here. Well, this is the history for this device this morning, but there's some way to see history on your other devices. Well, just a minute. Let's see here. Wonder if I go under the sync options. There we go, it's syncing. Oh, down here's, these are all the tabs that are open. And my MacBook Pro only has that Photos open. Well, well, I like having the history up here in the toolbar anyway, so let's see if I can bring the history up here. History and synced tabs. There it is. And let's take Pocket, because I never use Pocket, off. And let's see what that does. So I'll just get out of here. Look at the history this way. Well, this is my entire history. This is the picture right there. Getty Images. That's the picture. So let's bring that up. We'll save that picture and put it as the wallpaper on here, and then it'll look like we'll have two devices. See here, right click, save. And it wants to save it as a web page image, so there's a way to get around that. This is one of the reasons I like Firefox. Just go to the page info down here. Look at the media, and that image right there. Still wants to save it as a WebP image. Well, let me see what happens if I save it though. There we go. It wants to save it as a JPEG. I edited some footage out to just cut down on the screen time, but saved the picture. I right-clicked, had to change background on for my screen here. There's the picture. And let's go look at the background, see if that worked. Yep. So now we have synced pictures between my two devices just to make it look a little bit more alike there, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of weird like that. I'll probably change it again, but who cares? So yeah, as you can see, these two sync pretty well. Here's my Dropbox. With Debian, you can just go to Dropbox's website, download the desktop app right there, and it'll connect with your folder file manager. So there's all my sermon prep and stuff. Just what I was just looking at on my MacBook. Click it and it would bring it up. So let's look at the last device though. And out of the gate, I'm going to have to apologize. I had the second monitor turned off, but it was still recording, which explains why my software is still open. There you might see on the bottom left, it's open, but I can never turn it off. But I'm looking at Dropbox. So here again, if I wanted to look at my sermon, I would be able to. So there's Signal. There's my standard notes again. You see there's Signal loaded up on the other screen, but I'm wondering why it's never showing up. So, and again, looks like, well, standard notes does show up in that. So you can see the notes here. And that would be another way I would just copy sermon notes right onto that from my phone and then be able to open it up. So there I am wondering where the web page is. Trying to close that, was never closing also. But as you can see, I'm a big fan of the Windows icons for my Linuxes. Unashamedly, I just like the design, and I feel like Windows doesn't have the functionality and optimization, so I'll just steal their designs gladly and put it on whatever Linux I want to put it on. So here I am. I thought I might just show you. I'm going to try to put the same desktop picture on this, and quick way of doing that is actually just managing history. I know it was saved from Getty Images, so I'll just type that in or look for it in the day previous. Yeah, I think I'll just type it in here. There it is. And now I know how to do this. I'll just go ahead and save it. Well, you know, I had to look again and see the web page image, but old habits and all that. Save it here. And this is actually, if you didn't know, Mount Washington from New Hampshire. Always wanted to visit the Northeast. Never really been there, so. But we'll save it. See if I can change the desktop here. Well, that's grayed out. So why don't I just go find it in the File Explorer here. Nemo. Right click, set as wallpaper, ta-da. So there you are. If you want to have all computers synced, it's pretty easy with all these apps. I'll leave some stuff in the show notes about how to download these. Oh, this is Foliate. Let me show you Foliate. It's one of my favorite reading apps, e-reader apps. I'm one of those guys that love to close my apps if I'm not using them. But see, I have the Holman Illustrated Dictionary for my sermon study, so I'm already finding ways to do sermon study with a Linux device outside of the Olive Tree Bible software I like. BereanBibles.com offers this Bible for free. It's the one I preach out of. It's free for, I should say, an EPUB format, all kinds of formats, but you can change your theme here. So yeah, I'm already using some sermon prep stuff on my Linux device. So there you go. You can synchronize all you want with Linux with your other computers. So thanks for watching.